If you're willing to donate one of your organs and the time comes that you also need a transplant, should that push you up the waiting list?
According to one doctor, that should be so, to encourage more people to sign up as donors, especially those from ethnic minority backgrounds. Charlotte Grant explains.
Satnam Kang knows what it means to wait. He's been hoping and waiting for 8 years. Without a kidney transplant, he is dependent on dialysis.
I attend hospital 4 times a week, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I spend on each session 4.5 hours. I cannot miss this, I cannot live. I dialyse every other day. If I don't, I'm very close to death in a short space of time.
But with fewer donors from ethnic minority backgrounds, Satnam fears he and many others could be waiting for a long time. 24% of those on the waiting list are from ethnic minority backgrounds, yet they make up only 4.2% of donors. And across the population, 3 people die each day waiting for an organ. Well, one consultant here at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Birmingham may have an answer. He thinks the whole system needs to change drastically to stop so-called freeloaders, people happy to receive an organ but not to donate. Dr. Adnan Sharif is a kidney consultant who thinks priority should be given to people who are registered on the donor list, a system which could act as an impetus for donors from minority ethnic backgrounds.
The system that I would propose, though, at the very least we should debate, is what's been introduced in Israel, where essentially if there are 2 individuals, both with an equal medical need, but one has either previously donated or has been on the organ donor register, they should get priority points for that.
So it comes down to fairness?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I think it's a question of fairness. I think this is the fairest system of all.
When it comes to organ donation, history's already been made in Wales. Last month, the National Assembly voted in favour of a new system where people are presumed to have consented unless they opt out. But what do people here think of a priority system?
I think it's a brilliant idea.
If you're happy to donate, obviously you should, but if you're not happy, don't worry about it.
I think, I'm on the list, so maybe I should, but it depends, doesn't it? Maybe children should always get first, but yeah, it's a good idea.
It is only an idea at the moment, but if it helps more people to sign up, Satnam can only hope. Charlotte Grant, ITV News.
Well, joining us now in the studio for more on this is Janice Bayliss, who is a specialist nurse in organ donation. Janice, what do you make of this idea that people who are already on the register should perhaps have priority when it comes to having an organ themselves?
I think it's very difficult, and I think the most important thing is that it raises people's awareness about the organ donor register. I think it will take a lot of debate and discussion if they were finally to go with that method, which is used in other parts of the world. But from our point of view, as people who go and speak to families who have got people who are dying or about to die, then we want them to know what their wishes were, and that is the key point. So whether they're prioritised or not. And at the moment, people get organs as they need them, and that possibly has to stay the way it does. It was written by somebody who obviously sees lots of his patients not getting the kidney transplants they need.
One of the problems you do have, though, is getting people from ethnic backgrounds to sign up to the register. Now, why is that?
It's a very multifactorial problem for them. Even if they're on the register, they don't always have families who go on to consent. So some have religious beliefs or misapprehensions that their religions don't allow it. For some, it's a culture where organ donation is so alien and organ transplantation isn't part of a culture they've come from, so they don't actually understand the process. But there's a lot being done by our organisation through education, through research as well, going out and look at the population and try and find exactly what the problems are. But most importantly, it's getting the message across to these communities.
How do you do that, though? What are you doing to try to overcome that?
We've been running, over the last few years, we've been running specialist roadshows and going out and promoting organ donation specifically with targeted groups to try and raise their awareness.
And just to give us a sense of this, how great is the shortage?
The number of donors from the non-white population is very low. Last year, of the over 1,100 donors that we had, only 56 were from the non-white population. And for the kidney patients, it's very important that they might get a donor from their own background, just for the match to be correct.
Just 56. Goodness me. Thank you very much
That's
indeed,
okay.
Janice.
Okay.
Now, last night